Dr. Ron Kaiser here from the Mental Health Gym and the Rejuvenating Revolution. And I'm continuing my series on goal setting. As you know, my orientation and the type of psychology that I've created is called goal achieving psychology or goal achieving psychotherapy. In my last video on this, I talked about the importance of writing down goals. That's still probably the most important thing that I can leave you with. And then we talked about the fact that goals, in order to be achieved, should really be concrete. They should have a time frame on them for when they're going to be accomplished, and the goals must be realistic. You know, nobody gets great satisfaction from projecting lofty goals and then not being able to meet them because they're not realistic. So those are important things to keep in mind, but as we move toward execution of the goals, there's at least one other thing that I think is critically important, and that's that if you're really new to the goal setting game, or if you're new to making a commitment to goal setting by and achieving by writing them down, then we have to look at what's the easiest way to transition into this frame of mind. The easiest way is to start with goals that are totally dependent upon yourself, that don't require another person's actions in order to be successful. If I set a goal to get my desk cleaned and in order every Monday, unless I'm sharing my desk with somebody, that is totally dependent on me. Nobody has to give me the okay. Nobody has to stop me, derail me from the task. If I set that goal, then that's on me and I can accomplish it. If I set a goal of eating more healthy by not eating between dinner and breakfast the next day, that's totally on me to accomplish it. People may offer me something to eat, but I have the ability to say yes or no. If I plan to exercise at a certain time, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or if I plan to take a 45-minute walk before dinner each evening, totally upon me. There may be times when something would interfere with it, but in general, it's totally on me. On the other hand, if I set the goal of saying that I'm going to have lunch dates or lunch appointments 2 times in the next week, that's dependent on somebody else responding to my efforts to do so. I can set the behavioral goal of saying I will reach out to up to 5 people to see if I can get at least 2 lunch type dates or meetings in the next over the course of the next week. I can speak of, geez, I want to improve the relationship with my wife, which is an admirable goal, but it may not be achievable in that sense because it's dependent on her. What is dependent on me is if I can set the goal that I'm going to ask my wife how her day went every day at dinner, and I'm also going to let her know one thing, at least one thing, that I appreciate about her before we go to bed at night. There are a lot of other things I could do to try and improve that relationship, which I hope doesn't need too much improving. But nonetheless, I want to be able to have, again, concrete, measurable kinds of goals with a time frame on them, and make them realistic, but again, make them dependent on me. If I want to have my team produce more at a workspace, I can't set the goal that the team is going to produce more because that's not totally dependent on me. I can set a goal that I'm going to introduce a particular behavior, have more frequent team meetings, have time for input every day, where somebody knows that they can reach out to me, they can talk to me about any ideas that they want. I can set the goal that I'm going to clue in my team on our progress, however it's measured, on a weekly basis. That's totally dependent on me. The reason I'm saying this is not because other people won't buy into some of my goals. It's just that I don't know. I can only control my behavior. Now, as we get into more complex things related to goal setting, we can speak of ways in which we can help to build community goals, family goals, and so on. But again, if you're new to this goal setting business, let's think in terms of goals that are totally dependent on yourself, whether it be exercising, reading 30 minutes a day, again, walking before dinner, eating more healthy by whatever measure we're using, not eating between meals, not having desserts, or whatever we may figure in this regard. These are all things that are totally dependent on us, and that's a great place to start. Now, I know that goal setting is a pretty is assumed to be something that we kind of naturally do, like breathing and so on. But I've heard from many of you that the idea of writing down goals is not really something that comes naturally. And I suspect that focusing on personal goals is not necessarily something that comes naturally either. So I hope that some of these ideas will take root. I hope it will help you in your goal setting and in your goal achieving, more importantly. And also, I'd really be interested in your comments. Have you found that there are certain techniques that I haven't mentioned that will help in maximizing your potential for setting and achieving goals? I hope you can share it with others. Please let me know in the comments. Also, I'm always interested in your thoughts of what you're hearing from me, whether it makes sense, whether it can be tweaked, and certainly be in touch with me. Always interested in making this a collaborative effort as well as spreading the word about goal achieving psychology.